Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive day. I'm on my way to the crib, man, just enjoying my Sunday despite the ugly weather out here. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk. On the road to 3K. Shit, we might have hit the 2100 mark by now, but even if we didn't, I think we only like 1 or 2 subscribers away. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. All right, y'all, let's talk about Jaron Ennis and his performance last night against David Avanesyan. Man, this dude had a fucking jam-packed crowd in Philadelphia. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there personally because I had my son with me for the weekend. And, you know, niggas ain't trying to spend money all like that. You know what I'm saying? I just be cheap like that sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But regardless, I kicked back with my people. You know what I'm saying? We had a live fight party along with a little bit of commentary, man. If y'all didn't see that, please go check it out. For y'all to see the reactions to the knockdown that Jaron Ennis had, our reactions to the stoppage, and all that good stuff. You see what I'm saying? But what I really want to get into is, Jaron Ennis' performance and how it measures up to Terence Crawford, and if that's the right fight to make for Jaron Ennis sometime soon. Now, my overall thoughts on the fights with Jaron Ennis is, I think it was a mix of a little bit of everything. And what I mean by that is you can tell there was definitely some ring rust on Jaron Ennis. Now, that was the longest layoff of his career, so we can't really expect everything to be super sharp when getting back in the boxing ring. You see what I mean? I was seeing moves that he was taking with David Avanesyan, specifically when they were on the inside. And you could see that Jaron Ennis would see the shot because he would react accordingly defensively, but he was just a tad bit off with his timing, and that's why he was getting hit with certain shots. I was picking up on situations like that, and I do think that he was, into the crowd just a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? I understand Jaron Ennis has performed at Philadelphia multiple times. He's performed at, the Sugar House Casino. He's performed at the 2300 Arena. He's he's fought in Philadelphia, let's not get it wrong, but never in front of that type of crowd. Jaron Ennis had brought around 14,000 people in the crowd, and that arena holds 20,000 people, so he has sold out about 70% of the seats in the building. So when you got 14,000 people, reacting to you and stuff like that, and you're not really experienced on that level, or you haven't gotten that much attention, it's easy to fall into the crowd. You see what I mean? And I do think that there were times where I wouldn't say that Boots wasn't focused, but like I said, he was having just a little bit too much fun. You always want to have fun in there. Let's not get it wrong, especially if you enjoy doing what you do. But at the same time, there does need to be a certain level of focus. And I do think that Boots at certain times is like playing into the crowd. And, I even see Boots talking to the crowd at certain times. I don't know who he was talking to, but regardless, you know what I'm saying? His focus wasn't like 1,000% there. You know what I mean? It wasn't his sharpest performance. However, you know what I'm saying? Those are the only negative criticisms that I really have. You see what I mean? And besides, I do think that, if Boots would have kept a consistent game plan with just keeping him on the outside, then I don't think that he would have gotten hit with those little shots that David Avanesyan was hitting him with. And I think that he would have had a more, resounding stoppage. That's just my personal opinion, because I think that when he was showcasing his jab and, just keeping him on the outside, keeping him at the end of his punches, David Avanesyan had a really hard time finding his range, and, he didn't have, like, the defensive responsibility necessary to deal with, Jaron's offense. The speed was a little bit too much for Avanesyan. The body shots was killing him. I just would have liked to have seen a more consistent game plan with just boxing him from the outside. But regardless, it was a quality performance from Jaron Ennis. Despite the long layoff, he still did a sensational job. The offense was on point. The speed was there. The explosiveness was there. He got hit at certain times, but, the defense was still astounding in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? For you to be, in tight quarters like that, fighting on the ropes and stuff like that, and still able to make him miss as much as Jaron Ennis did, is absolutely impressive. You see what I mean? He was hurting Avanesyan to the body and to the head. You see what I'm saying? Got a beautiful pull counter knockdown. And, Jaron Ennis was in top shape. Everything is that's just who Jaron is, man. He's a special talent. You see what I mean? So when you see that he's capable of doing just about everything, it's just impressive to see. You see what I'm saying? It was impressive to see. And I just like how he put it all together, you know what I mean, for an overall beautiful performance. You feel what I mean? So that's my overall take on the situation. Now, let's transition over to the possibility of him fighting Terence Crawford. A lot of people, of course, David Avanesyan is a former opponent of Terence Crawford, and Jaron Ennis happened to be fighting him on 5 weeks' notice. So I already knew right off of the bat, that there was going to be comparisons being made, similar to the Canelo, Jaime Munguia, John Ryder situation. You see what I mean? A lot of people said that they weren't really impressed with Jaron Ennis' performance, which is insane to me because you can't name 5 boxers in the sport of boxing right now that could put together a complete performance like Jaron Ennis did last night. But regardless, man, you know, you can't satisfy everybody. And a lot of these dudes that being highly critical of Jaron are just people that happen to be huge fans of Bud Crawford. You know what I mean? They find Jaron Ennis to be a threat. So if they see that he has certain lows, they're going to speak out about it. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion. You know what I mean? You can feel entitled to this. You're entitled to disagree, of course. But, you know, that's just something that I picked up while I was doing my research and, you know, seeing what the people were saying about Jaron. Now, just because he had a performance that wasn't like as emphatic as Terence Crawford, you know, it wasn't that crazy of a knockout in comparison to Terence Crawford, that a lot of people feel like Terence Crawford has the edge going into the Jaron Ennis fight. You know what I'm saying? I really don't understand how that really makes sense because at the end of the day, Avanesyan is not Jaron Ennis. Avanesyan is not Terence Crawford, so who's to say that they'll perform the same if Bud and Boots were to face each other? You know what I'm saying? I honestly believe that Jaron Ennis has the skill set and the overall abilities within himself. I think he's gifted enough to, you know what I'm saying, make this a very difficult fight for Bud. You see what I mean? Boots has just about everything that you need in a fighter. Terence Crawford, you could say the same about him. And, you know, a lot of people say that it's like a mirror fight because they have similar abilities. But, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if that's the case, then wouldn't you guys be saying that this fight would be competitive since they do a lot of the things the same or they both have similar abilities? I don't really be understanding these dudes. You see what I'm saying? Now, Terence Crawford is one of the best fighters in the world. Let's not get it wrong. But at the same time, we really got to take into consideration that we haven't really seen anybody do anything to Jaron Ennis yet. And I understand it may be because of quality of opponents. But at the same time, it's like we'll never know if Jaron could be faded for real. You see what I mean? So this is what we actually have to come out and see. We had to see who's the best between these two. I think this is one of the biggest fights to be made in boxing. I seen Turki Al-Sheikh make comments as if he's interested in the fight as well. I hope that he is. I hope that he brings the bag possible that'll get Terence Crawford's attention because he told you guys, he's proved that he's been great for years now, and now he wants the money. You see what I mean? He wants the big bags, and he said that Jaron don't bring anything to the table, but if Turki Al-Sheikh were to cut a check that, you know, Terence Crawford couldn't turn down, we might actually see this fight. This fight might actually be realistic. And this is one of the main reasons that I said that Jaron Ennis signing with Eddie Hearn was the best move that could be made in his career because he has a great relationship with Turki Al-Sheikh. And Turki Al-Sheikh has a checkbook, you know what I'm saying, that could make a lot of shit happen. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I do think that the criticism about Jaron Ennis' performance is unfair. I think there was various factors that played into Jaron Ennis, you know, just getting hit just a little bit too much and stuff like that. But regardless, man, it was still a sensational performance. You know, they stopped it in the corner. They knew that David Avanesyan was bound to get stopped. And, you know, it's a knockout at the end of the day, regardless of how you get it, whether the doctor stops it, whether they throw the white flag, the white towel, whatever the situation is, a knockout is a knockout. So, and he got it before Terence Crawford was able to do so. Okay, Terence Crawford might have been more impressive. He concussed the dude. He put him to sleep. But at the same time, it's like, you know what I mean? A knockout is a knockout. You feel what I mean? So I like that they making these comparisons between Jaron Ennis and Terence Crawford because at the end of the day, it's only going to make the fight between them even bigger. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be more of a demand for the fight. And the more demand, the more money that this fight could generate. So congratulations to Jaron Ennis. I love the performance against David Avanesyan. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. I see Eddie Hearn was talking about he may be back in October, November. I'll be on the lookout for that as well. Activity is exactly what Jaron needs. And I think that he's one of the best fighters in the world. I think he's a generational talent, but time will tell, of course. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if, you know, Jaron Ennis gets the ultimate opportunity against the pound-for-pound, arguably the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, in Terence Crawford. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. This is Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.